And hello and welcome to another edition of OSW Playlist. What is going on? It's what your boy Jay Hunter has been watching and playing over the last month. You'll be wondering, where am I? Oh my god, can you see? It's a lovely, 6 p.m. in Singapore. Yeah. So there we go. Special live right, this is not live at all, that's just a barefaced lie. But here we go. Here's IFI Horathon 2018. The deal being that I get this recorded, edited and uploaded all in one day, so it doesn't interfere with OSW scheduling. It's supposed to be 10-15 minutes before, it's supposed to be 10-15 minutes max, but we'll see when we finish. Let me just show you one cool thing, mate. Okay, oh my god, didn't even open, but have a look at this day curtain. You can kind of close and see this beautiful skyline. Wipe that all out. That's it. Some kind of mechanized thing. And there you go. Just end the day. So I can use this as some kind of transition actually. So as a close, well, that's what you get. That's what you pay for. So let's get to it. Thanks, Singapore Jay. So, Horathon is an annual horror film festival at the IFI, the Irish Film Institute, which is an independent cinema in Temple Bar in Dublin, where they show flicks all day for about 5 days and get in the director and cast members to introduce / do a Q&A as much as they can. The IFI mostly show independent films, so it's a very different crowd than at the multiplex chains. Like, you can leave your coat down, you can buy a pint in the cafe restaurant and bring it into the theatre. There's maybe 150 seats each in the main two auditoriums. There's 2 teeny ones upstairs. I don't know if they're showing films that you'd want to see, since they'd be indie or foreign films, but if you're in Dublin, I'd highly recommend having a look-see. It's like 2 minutes from Pineland. We saw 3 films back to back on Friday, and then the last film on Saturday, 4 films total. So let's do it to it!
You'd be good.
We'll be back before you know it.
You get to work. Go over to the shed and get us some wood.
Want wood?
Who are you?
With this hand, I want you to come right over the top. You did good today, son.
Grandpa.
First up is Knuckleball, directed by Michael Peterson. It came out before Mania this year. It just arrived on home video, so I'm able to show you footage. Like some of these Horathon films, it's incredibly indie, they don't even have trailers. They just have footage of the director talking about the film at horror festivals. Ridiculous. What's the vig? Parents drop their 12-year-old son off at Grandpa's for the weekend, an isolated ranch in the Canadian wilderness. When Grandpa dies during the night, a deadly game of cat and mouse begins. Oh, Canada. It was filmed in Saskatchewan, where Bret Hart first won his WWF title on Smack 'em Whack 'em. There you go. So the film is a cross between The Visit by M. Night Shyamalan and Home Alone. Yeah. Where's the paint can on a string and hot doorknob? Who are the characters? The parents, Mary and Paul. Grandpa Jacob is played by Michael Ironside, who was Richter in Total Recall. The antagonist, Yokel Dixon. And the protagonist, little kid, Henry. I love the difference of how the kid and Grandpa are dressed. Like, Henry, the kid, looks like he's about to hit the slopes, versus Grandpa's battered overalls because he's ready for hard work. Further expanded as the kid gets a bit of BBC Sherlock treatment, where they show his game and phone text on screen. The kind of modern CGI juxtapose the simple life his grandpa leads. I enjoyed how the dialogue uses the English language, just the brevity of film. It means it just weighs more. Grandpa speaks curtly and grunting, almost monosyllabic in his short answers, which could be taken at face value or a worrying slant. Like, are all these balls yours? It's fine.
Here.
These all yours?
Just throw it.
It's called Knuckleball because both bond over baseball. Gramps makes him work on his aim, but not how to throw a knuckleball because it's unpredictable, but both come in handy by the end. The story of the film is that Henry meets the creeper neighbour and so runs to him when Grandpa dies, but cops that he's a dangerous fella. I just... Tell you what, Hollywood and the world of cinema have done nothing but harm to country yokels. Like, this lad, he's a stereotype. A psychopath, a murderer, a torturer, a paedophile, and to top it off, poor dentition. Gingivitis running wild.
I need to call my parents.
Sorry, dude. Storm. Once it starts, the phones go down.
Can I try it?
I just said it doesn't work. Oh, shit.
You think being in 2018, it closes the avenues for being isolated, but Canada's big. It's in the middle of nowhere. And your battery runs out. Oh, you're fucked, mate. Your parents are flying and travelling back to you, but they won't be there until tomorrow, so you'll have to fend for yourself. Oh, there's a bit where the mom starts weeping outside the car at her son and he's worried about it. And I know, like, empathise because it's a sincere display of emotion, but fuck, man, wait 10 seconds. Have your breakdown while we're driving in the car. I'm a big fan of exposition. Early on, the camera lingers on important things to note, like a rack with sharp barbed wire, and like there's gasoline cans, which are used later on. Brilliant rosy booking, so everybody knows what's going on. Just with the good booking here, at the start of the film, they get over family problems as the mom uses sedative pills and drops them, so the kid knows what dropped pills sound like when the yokel is prepping his coke for him to drink and drug him. I just thought it was great.
It's getting bad out there.
There's such a successfully creepy shot of Yokel Dixon. He kind of puts his arm leaning on the counter, obscuring his face, and you just see his wild bug eyes as he tries to control Henry, and stands there for a solid 40 seconds waiting for Henry to go away so he can pick up the pills. It's so sussy. Henry's able to hightail it back to Grant's place and booby-trap the house for when Yokel comes back to get him. So it's very Home Alone. I just thought, like, his defense goes so well, including setting the yokel on fire and the kid brandishes a knife. I wondered if he would turn heel and be the sadistic bad guy. Just one last thought. Without spoiling it, I want to say the grandpa is also a massive heel. There's zero chance he didn't know exactly what that yokel was up to, so he's complicit in his crimes. But Gramps is booked as a gruff but kind babyface. Anywho, Knuckleball is exactly what it says on the tin. It's The Visit versus Home Alone if it was a horror. It doesn't do anything new or reinvent the wheel, but there's a lot of positive points here. One noticeable negative is that the soundscape was overbearing at points. But overall, it's an easy watch, a quick 90 minutes, thumbs up. So good start to Horrorthon. Why didn't he try it the grandpa's aftershave and he'd be like, aww.
It's just a game, and you did so good!
Look around you, John. Do you think God is here, in this place? This place disgusts me. The people who run this place disgust me. Reverend Mother, would you like to comment about what's been going on?
Next up is The Devil's Doorway. The Devil's Back Door, am I right? Hey. Up the jacksie, don't talk backsie. This is a classy show. The Devil's Doorway is a Northern Irish independent horror by Aisling Clarke in her first major feature. This one's set in a Magdalen laundry. It's found footage, but as a 1960 documentary. So it's like a 60s Irish Blair Witch, or Carloch Blair, yeah? Which happens to get very Exorcist. I don't know if people outside Ireland know, but the Magdalen laundries are a real thing in Ireland, or they were. It started like in the 18th century. Nuns ran these prison-style laundry houses and took in mostly pregnant girls with nowhere else to go. About 30,000 in total. Horrific atrocities as they were abused and many turned into prostitutes. It's not a million miles away either. It's not, it's not ages ago. The last one closed in 1996. It's huge news in Ireland. There was a mass grave found in 1993. We still get the annual assemblies for the 800 Tuam babies in Galway and gatherings for the church to come clean in Dublin. Director Aisling was very happy that she had survivors of the laundry actually travel to see the film and thanked her for it. But in America, she got people giving out to her for ripping off James Wan's The Nun. She was like, scary nuns? We own that. So a Magdalen laundry is a fantastic setting for a horror, and it was treated non-gratuitously. Thumbs up. Thankfully, this film came out on home video the day before screening, so I can show you footage. The plot of the film sees two priests sent to investigate the claims of a Virgin Mary statue crying blood. While there, and hanging around waiting for it to bleed, and also running tests to prove it's a hoax, they also document the laundry, which is rife with abuse. We spend our time with them, and that's older Father Thomas and young Father John. So that's like the old one's the priest who's lost his faith, and the young one is like a more wide-eyed, hopeful priest. And since it's a horror film, we actually get the miracle. The statue starts weeping blood. Turns out it's from a girl chained up in the basement, presumably possessed. I was like, I told you it got a bit Exorcist. It's really cool to see Irish people on the screen. Evil Mother Superior has a whopper line preempting entering the lower infirmary. It's like, it's where we keep the ones who are mad. Some of them are dangerous, so watch yourself. It's like, one of them is a cannibal. Guess which one?
You are not prepared for this, Father Riley. But if you want to see, I will show you.
Where are we going?
The lower infirmary where you asked to. It's where we keep the women who are mad. Some of them are dangerous, so watch yourself.
I really appreciated how it was edited. Like, it's 2018, but it's edited like a 1960s documentary. You can see it was IMAX flavored and in 4:3 full screen. And the takes are longer, including the priest go and say, oh, that was fine, yeah. And it's slower paced, and it actually looks like film was spliced together. Of course, making a found footage movie in 1960 is preposterous. You see the size of the 16mm camera they're using. It's huge! And the priest somehow has never-ending volumes of film. And I don't know, is there a battery pack in 1960? Although it does go on the blink quite often for dramatic effect. But maybe he had some of that sweet Pope money. You take it at face value, forget about it, and just go along for the ride. I enjoyed the priest's, that's Lotta Roddy's, his kind of world weariness. There's something about having elderly people talking in film. Their low energy means having choice words, giving their thoughts so much gravitas. Also, his momentary reprieve, taking it all in, it was quite funny. He just goes, this is fucking insane. Before the big push at the end, we get a mild bit of levity with the younger priest John going through and ticking off criteria for possession, but they never actually perform an exorcism. There is a tight budget, about £230,000, which is actually really impressive for how it looks, like a couple of million. But you are aware that the sets won't be lavish. This is a very down-to-earth horror. They make the most of it, like a creepy shot where Kathleen, that's the girl who's supposedly possessed, she holds hands with something underneath her bed. She's also pregnant, and they show the birth, but they film it much more impactfully by having the camera stay at her face, watching her grimace and quietly sob, enduring it. It's so much more personal and effective than the alternative. And to finish the film, there is a mad dash, a gauntlet of found footage creepy tropes that they catch on film, like, oh my god, there's blood handprints on the hanging linen, and belt it towards the finish. I found this kind of running action to be quite boring. Like, I love the exposition and setting, but this is kind of run-of-the-mill roller coaster stuff that you see in every found footage film. Afterwards, director Ashlyn said she made the film to unravel shared trauma and as an exploration of faith, and took questions, including some cretin saying,
I loved it except for these three things, but I loved the doors and handles and the doorknobs and how the doors looked, and they were like my grandma's doors.
It's like, what? That's not a question, mate. That's just you hot dogging. Overall, though, I don't know how much this appeals to non-Irish, but it blends so many genres and films together, so it is unique. My time was well spent. If any of this interests you, please give it a watch and let me know what you think. Thumbs up.
You are not prepared for this, Father Riley.
I've seen moving statues. I've seen water turned into wine. I've seen miracles, John. But that's not what's happened here.
Prepare yourself, Father.